everyone, my name is Dara and I'm a junior majoring in biochem and forensic science with a minor in econ, and I'm going to be taking you through my day with me today. So even though I'm a junior and most juniors at this point are living off of campus, I'm an RA, and so I live in one of the residence halls on campus. Currently, I live in Day Hall, which is one of our residence halls on what we call the Mount. It's kind of a hill coming off of campus, so it kind of feels like we have our own little community up here. There's another residence hall right next to us, and we also have a dining hall, which I will show you as I head off to breakfast now. But I just woke up, got ready for the day. It's gonna be a long one, so follow along as I show you what I do on Wednesdays. So it's actually snowing today, which I know is kind of crazy, but it makes me extra grateful for the trolleys. I took one of those from the Mount down to campus. And so at SU we have buses and we have trolleys. And the buses, like the bigger buses, they can take you to South Campus. There's some apartments and dorms there where people live, so people are getting on those buses often. There's also just like facilities that are on South Campus. So when I play intramural soccer, our fields are on South Campus. There's a big like student center over there. Our ice skating rink is over there. So if you want to watch like ice hockey games, it's there. I also tutor student athletes, and like their academic center is over there. So those buses will take you there if you need to go there. They can also take you into the city, and most of the time it's free. The most I've ever had to pay is $1 for a trip, so that's pretty cool. But we also have trolleys, and the trolleys I use the most are the orange loop or the blue loop because they go around different places on campus. So the first thing on my itinerary for today is that I have a dispatch shift. So something really cool I've been able to do at Syracuse is join the Syracuse University Ambulance, which is an emergency medical services agency that we have right here on campus. You apply, and if you get in, they'll train you to work on an ambulance, they'll sponsor you for EMT class, and then the more you progress, the more you can train other people. So it's really cool. Apart from working on the crews as an EMT, I also work as a dispatcher, and that's what I'll be doing this morning. My shift was pretty short today because I was covering for someone who couldn't do it anymore. But now I'm going to be braving the snowy unknown, heading off to my first class. Hello! I just finished my biochemistry class. Next up, I have research. I really loved getting involved in research on campus. I'll be doing a Q&A type thing at like 12 p.m. So feel free to ask any questions that you have about research or otherwise. But something really cool about Syracuse that I definitely took into consideration when I was applying was that I knew I would be pre-med, and so I either wanted to go somewhere that had access to medical schools, that had access to hospitals, that had an established pre-health program for like supporting students that were going to be pre-health. And at Syracuse, we're walking distance from 3 hospitals, and we have really good relationships with all of them. It's possible to volunteer at all of them, and we're really close to a medical school. So I just got back to my room and thought I would hop on here and chat a little bit. I have a couple of hours until the next thing that I need to do, so I will just be studying and kind of chilling in my room until then. Wanted to talk a little bit about why I chose Syracuse. It's a really big decision, and I'm sure there's some people watching this that are kind of in that place of having to choose between colleges. But for me, ultimately, it came down to a lot of things that I was looking for in a college. I wanted to go somewhere that doing research as an undergrad wasn't just something that there were opportunities for, but it was something that was normal. And that's definitely the case here at Syracuse. I love research so much. I love talking to students about how to get involved in research, because I won't say it's like easy, but it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. Professors are open to having students join their labs. It's something that's normal, and that's something I wanted in the college that I went to. In addition to research, like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to go somewhere that had a lot of hospitals around them, like somewhere that getting volunteer experience, that clinical experience would be really possible. And Syracuse is really well situated with lots of hospitals around us. I'm in the current in the next application cycle for medical school because I'm applying this year. And the pre-health office has been really hands-on and getting lots of support and also just like moral encouragement from them, which has been great. And I didn't even really know about the Syracuse University ambulance when I came to school. But that's been an amazing opportunity to get certified as an EMT and now work to serve the campus community and get familiar with how emergency medical services plays a role in like hospital care and service as well. So that's been amazing. And those were some things that I knew coming into Syracuse and also things that I didn't know coming in. So it's been an amazing blend. And then I also got amazing financial support, which is important. Was definitely important for me, probably important for a lot of people as well. And so that was okay, I've been getting cut off a lot, but this is the last segment kind of my why Syracuse story. And the last thing I just really wanted to talk about was the support here at Syracuse. As someone looking at colleges, I know definitely when I was looking at colleges, there were so many things that were so important to me, and I felt like there wasn't always a ton of information about what support is like at schools, or it seemed like a lot of schools had similar things in terms of support. So it was hard to get a full picture of like when I chose to come to Syracuse, like what support I could expect to get. And my experience has been amazing in that arena, from my pre-health advisors to honors advisors, major specific advisors, my classmates, my professors, supervisors at jobs that I've had, supervisors at my research labs, the person that interviewed me from college, and everyone else that you meet along the way. People are very supportive and invested in you and your journey, and that has made my experience at Syracuse. I love this question a lot, mostly because I think people expect getting involved in research to be a lot more difficult and tricky than it ends up being. The first lab that I was a part of at SU, I went to the biology department faculty page, the chemistry department faculty page, so just going online, and I looked at all the professors, people that were doing things that sounded interesting to me, skimmed through one of their papers because honestly I didn't really understand most of what I was reading, but if anything looked interesting to me, then I would email the professor and say, hey, this is who I am, this is the year in school I'm in, this is what my major is, I'm interested in getting involved in research, this is why I'm interested in your research, this is what I saw that you're working on, I would like to meet to talk some more about your research and potential opportunities for me as an undergrad in your lab. And they'll get back to you, either tell you maybe they don't have space right now for an undergrad, tell you to get back to them in a couple of months, or they'll ask you to come in for a meeting or to sit in on their lab meeting. The first professor that I worked with was one of the people that said that I should come in for one of his lab meetings. So I went to his lab meeting. Oftentimes, lab meetings, either there will be people presenting certain things during the lab meetings, or it'll just be a time to catch up with the lab and figure out where everyone's experiments are. I think the first time that I went, some people were presenting, so it was a really cool opportunity to really learn more about what they're doing in the lab because they're explaining it to you. So that's how I got involved in the first lab. Upstate was a bit more difficult. I started emailing people during the summer, which was kind of hard because people are just really busy over the summer. But yeah, just emailed a ton of people. Same thing. I went to their faculty website for different departments, looked up people that were doing things that seemed interesting to me, emailed them, told them who I am. At this point, I did have some research experience, so I shared what I had been doing, why I was interested in them, asked if they had time to meet, and if to talk about like opportunities for undergrads in their labs. So I would say that is the biggest way that I have found research. I think it's the simplest thing that you can do. You might have to send out a lot of emails, but professors expect students to want to do research with them. So most of the time, most people, they will answer you and tell you if they have space, if they don't have space. And if they have space, they'll want to talk to you. I've had professors that, there was one professor I was really interested in doing research in his lab like last summer, and even though he didn't have space, like we still sat down, had a really good conversation. He's a forensic science professor, and I was becoming a forensic science major, so it was a good conversation. So I think cold emails are super effective. But we also have a lot of research conferences, lots of opportunities for students to present their research, and for different labs from Syracuse, but also from upstate to come present their research. And so sometimes if labs are open to new members, you can go to those fairs, those conferences, and learn about the labs that are looking for new members and get involved in the lab that way. Okay, my last video on this, but also the biology department, that's the department I'm a part of, so I'm most familiar with what they do. But when those conferences and like fairs are coming up and they know there are labs that are looking for students, they'll also send an email and tell you, hey, these labs are going to be at the conference, they're open to new members, just so you even have those on your radar and can have direction as to which labs you really want to check out during those conferences. Professors also talk about their research a lot in different classes to different degrees, but if they're doing research, they'll probably mention it at least once. So that might be a cool way to get involved in research, like stay back after class or go to office hours, ask them more about their research. They'll want to know why you want to know about their research, so that's a really cool way to get involved as well. And just wanted to touch on experience. Most labs, if they require experience, they'll let you know, but don't let that be the reason you don't ask people for opportunities. Most people are willing to teach you from the ground up. Hey. So something cool at Syracuse that I've started taking advantage of recently, specifically this semester, is the fitness classes that we have at Barnes. I've really been into Zumba, and so that's something fun that I've been able to do almost every week this semester. I normally do it on Wednesdays, but today is going to be slightly different. Today I'm meeting up with some other people on the worship team at my church, and we're going to be rehearsing for our Easter service this Sunday. So we just finished the meeting. We got broken up into the different residence halls that we're going to be in next year, so we could get to know our supervisors, get to know some of the other RAs, and I'm excited for next year. I'm going to be in a different dorm that's more central to campus, so excited to see what that experience is like. This was the last thing for my day today. I'm on call tonight as an RA, which means that I hold a phone, and if people have any emergency needs that they have during the course of the night from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., they call me and I kind of help them get the help that they need. I also do rounds to make sure that the floors are kind of looking okay in my building. But yeah, that's it for today. Despite doing an Instagram takeover, I'm not on Instagram often, but I will leave my email on the next slide. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I would love to tell you more about Syracuse and my time here and how you can make the most of your time here.